I think the sequel film was all about advancing the characters, and we did that very nicely. Sophie, the screenwriter, let us figure out a little bit more about each character, what they were about, what they stood for, and what their intentions were.
One thing! I wanted one goddamn thing to go right in my life!
It's time the truth was uncovered.
You know, the first film, the original film, is always about establishing the storyline. So there's a lot of detail there that maybe doesn't flesh itself out until you get to the sequel.
I told you all, you vote for all of us, or you don't vote at all. You didn't listen. I'm telling you right now, it is not going to end up the way that you think it is.
I think now we start to see a lot more infighting among the Rosemarys, especially over the vote and who won that vote, who didn't win that vote. Abigail now understands that there's probably no one she can really trust to help her develop this serum into a vaccine.
You fucking bitch. You got 5 minutes.
Rosemary2 is going to have you saying, "What the hell?" So, my character, Dr. Kincaid, really strips off her lab coat and gets real. My mom here, she was gracious enough to let me transform and graffiti her garage into a torture room. That was a ton of fun, by the way. And my authentic friend, tattooed friend, Trina, did an amazing job interrogating me.
You had your way with me. You got what you wanted. Just let me go.
Being a first-time speaking role for me, it's been a long time since I've been an extra in the film industry, so it was a huge learning curve, and I had a blast. I really enjoyed it. It was also really cool to play this role. Usually it's a predominantly male role that would be an interrogator or kidnapper, someone that's being threatening to a woman. So it was kind of cool to be able to do it girl on girl, and just breaking those stereotypical roles.
Okay, Jesus Christ, I told you already.
I'm grateful she took it semi-easy on me because her enthusiasm at times made me do a double take. We did a ton of laughing in between takes, and then with all this raw footage, I don't know, Jimmy somehow miraculously makes it look super Hollywood. And I'm always in awe at the end results.
The thing people do not realize about this film is that these actors shot all of this by themselves. They had no help.
How the hell?
Sometimes just an iPhone. It's an extreme challenge in this business to be able to get it right using minimal equipment and no help. So, if nothing else, this is a big deal, and this makes this film worth watching. But I think the most significant development we have in the sequel is the revelation that there's an actual writer behind this whole story, which happens to be the original Rosemary. She is the one that is sort of dictating the story as we go along. And in the third film, Save Rosemary Trinity, we will find out why she's writing this story, what's driving her to do it, and I think everyone will be surprised to see what's really behind the intention of the Save Rosemary series.
Hi, Rosemary7 here. Hope you've enjoyed the film. I thought I would just show you a little bit around my studio. This is the set for Rosemary2 and 4, and Rosemary number 5 was right down here on the floor. The poor old mint plant that had a few chunks taken out of it. The famous office scene for Rosemary 1, and going round, this is my lounge. It's lighting for another project I'm up to. And this is the view behind those curtains where Rosemary7 introduced her crazy play. And down there over the wall is where we had a bit of crazy dancing going on. Not really feels of countryside. That's the view from my window. That's Glasgow city centre over there. So I'm really excited because we're planning Rosemary 3 now. So I wonder what's going to happen to my character.
I think that the original Rosemary, who has now been revealed as the writer behind the storyline behind the Save Rosemary project, is faced with a choice to make. I think in her head, she is now listening to both her conscience and the reality of things. And that's going to lead to a choice in the third film, Save Rosemary Trinity. And it's a choice that we all find ourselves in many times during our lives. We know what the right thing to do is, but we also know that doing the right thing doesn't necessarily get the right result. So there's a dilemma that she faces. Each one of the Rosemarys and all the other characters in the film have a message for us, and I hope we do a good enough job to deliver that message, that it makes the viewer, the public, stop and rethink their own lives in this very strange, unusual, difficult time. And if we do that, we just re-examine ourselves, then I think we have succeeded with this film project.
And now this. I just can't believe it. My partner is right. I'm glad it's not me. It's a blessing in disguise, really. And if the rumors are true, if the serum has been stolen, life is already uncertain enough. So I think the best thing I can do is focus on what I can control in my own life.